Y'all just got to give me a little bit today, man. I just got some stuff. I just want to talk to y'all about the current way of the world, the state of the world right now, and this current pandemic that's going on. And I just got some stuff I just want to get off of my chest. I don't know. I'm feeling the need to put out to put out something, man. It's a lot of it's scary out here right now. With everything closing down and all of the signs that you're seeing, around, and people getting, I ain't gonna say laid off, but the work situation, people getting sent home. And when I talk to friends and family members, man, everybody seems to be in a certain state right now, and so I've been thinking a lot about that. So just be patient with me today, man. My thoughts, I got some deep stuff. I'm gonna test your beliefs a little bit. I want to talk about beliefs, okay? And I want to talk about who we are. I want to talk about who you are, on a deeper level, right? Not just your name, but on a deeper level. It's a lot of stuff going on right now in the world. It absolutely is, all across the world. Not just the pandemic situation. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And, I don't know whether it's just me. You tell me whether it's just me or not, but every time you look, somebody is passing away unexpectedly. Not just famous people and celebrities and people that we know, but I know so many people now that have that somebody close to them has passed away just out of the blue, including, that's my own experience. My son passed away totally unexpectedly 5 years ago. I got a friend whose daughter got hit by a car a few years back. Just out of the blue stuff. I got another friend who her husband was shot. Her and her husband was going to another city to visit either his in-laws or her in-laws, and when they got there, they were on the side of the road, and somebody just randomly walked up on the car and started shooting in the car and killed her husband. Just a freak total accident. And people that I talk to, it's a lot of people experiencing crazy stuff like that right now. So again, and then this current pandemic situation that's got everybody in a rattled state, essentially. So what's going on? I know I ain't the only one asking that question. What is going on? And I know a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about what is going on right now in our world. But here's my thoughts, man. Here's the Helpful Trucker's thoughts on what's going on in our world. And it's some good stuff. It's some stuff for us to definitely for you to definitely think about. So if you're still watching this video, go ahead and stick with me to the end. I'm definitely gonna play with your mind a little bit. So, right now, if you look around, it's the conditions of the world are becoming more and more unbearable, if you will. Right? There's a lot of things going on in the world right now that are outside of your control and outside of my control. It's just going on in the world, and I refer to those as the condition. Right? That is the circumstance. Okay. And so, my question is, when the circumstances become unbearable, what can you do? What can I as an individual do? What can you as an individual do? Or here's the other question: is there nothing that you can do? Because I know there's people that do believe that, that there's sometimes there's nothing that you can do. But I want to push back against that. Man, I believe that we are something much more than physical. I believe that we are creators. And I know there's a lot of people that believe that and don't believe that, but you have an imagination for a reason. You have a mind for a reason. And you would have to admit that everything that existed in thought first. So everything that's created essentially is created twice. Once in thought, or once in the non-physical, and then it shows up in the physical. But, you know, I believe that most people would probably agree that everything exists in the non-physical, in the thought, whatever word you want to put to it, in the non-physical first. And so if I am a creator, if you are a creator, if we are creators, if we have the ability to think and create thoughts, create ideas, create images, hence the word imagination, create images in our mind, and then act and believe, right? Believe in those images and act in a direction, act in a way that is getting us closer towards the realization of those images, then we can create those images in the physical. I totally believe that. And if you don't, if you believe that, I'm gonna test your faith right now. Because to me, it seems that if you believe that, whether you believe it's a spiritual thing or not, because we don't have to get into being spiritual, man has the ability to think and create on a scientific level. You won't even have to get spiritual about it. But if you believe that man has that ability, man has the ability to imagine or create an image in his mind of what he wants in the future, what he wants his world to be, and then he has the ability to gravitate towards that image, then the question then becomes, do you have that ability unconditionally? Do you have that ability unconditionally, or are there limits on your ability to do that? And I'm going back to the word condition, because we talked earlier about the current condition, the current circumstances that we're experiencing. You know, I'm thinking right now of a person, not an individual that I know, but just theoretically of a person that has been trapped in the body, but has found a way to escape in the mind. Like a person that's in jail that finds a way to live beyond the confines of the jail cell, right? Do we have the ability to do that? I believe that we do. And I believe that your abilities that you and I have cannot show themselves unless they are questioned, unless they are tested. Your abilities that you have will never show themselves unless they have a reason to, right? It's kind of like the claw of the retractable claw of an animal, right? It's not out all the time. It's only out when it needs to be. Our abilities tend to only come out when they need to. And I would say that conditions, unbearable conditions, are the impetus to causing you and me and man as a whole to go to a different level in his mind, in his thought. And so if you believe that you have the ability to imagine and create unconditionally, then it seems that goes above and beyond the conditions. So that it would seem that, you know, if that's the case, then it shouldn't matter what condition you or we are experiencing. We have the ability to think and create our way out of that. So either you believe that, or you believe, yeah, I have the ability to create sometimes, which really doesn't really make any sense. If you have the ability to create, then you have the ability to create. You know what benefit is having the ability to create if you're always in a situation that is to your liking, that is to your preferring. If you're always in the ideal situation, then you never have an opportunity. You don't need to use your ability to create. The only reason you have the ability to create is to use it to, you know, it's kind of like life is this lump of clay, and it is the creator's job to mold it, to mold his life and his world into what he wants it to be. And so there's no reason to to be a creator if you're not dealing with a lump of clay. You're already dealing with, you know, a finished finished piece. There's no need. There's nothing else to create. And so again, I would say that it is conditions that we feel are outside of our control that have the greatest ability to cause us to go to the mind. Because when things happen that we don't like that are in our control, we typically won't go to the mind. We'll typically just go to action. But when something happens that is out of your control, and I made a video on this before, when things happen that are out of your control, like the examples that I gave earlier, a loved one passing away totally unexpectedly, right? Or a pandemic going around, right? When things happen that are outside of our control, we have two choices. We can either think, we can either use our mind to stay in a productive, creative, beneficial state. There's the key word. Or we can just suffer. And when we're suffering, obviously we're in a different state than when we are in a productive, uplifted, beneficial mindset, state, right? So what state do you have control over your state? Or is your state being controlled by things you cannot control? That is the question that we must ask ourselves at times like this, when everything around us is making us feel out of whack. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels the energy that is out right now. Like I said, people are in a fearful state. I'm not criticizing anyone that's in a fearful state. There is reason to be in a fearful state. Just like when a loved one passes, there is reason to be in a grieving state. The question is, what state do you want to be in? What state do you need to be in? What state do you want to be in an empowered state, or do you want to be in a disempowered state? That's the question. Because obviously when we are suffering, when we are fearful, when we are pessimistic, right? We are not in an optimized state. And the state that we are in determines what we see, determines what thoughts are available to us. Your very best thoughts are not available to you when you are not in your very best state. And so it seems to me that it is times like this that teaches us, if you're able to see the lesson, it gives us the opportunity to develop our ability to manage our own state, because we realize that, you know, I don't want my ability to create to be suppressed, or better yet, my ability to create is never suppressed. When I'm in a fearful state, I am still creating. That's the interesting thing about it. When I'm in a pessimistic state, it's not that my ability to create is suppressed. I'm still creating. We can't turn off our ability to think, imagine, and gravitate towards those thoughts. That is a ride that cannot get turned off. And so if you can't turn off your ability to think, and you can't turn off your ability to create, then what state do you think you need to be in to be able to create the future that you want to be able to create, right? What we are living today, what you are living today, what I'm living today is the result of past thoughts. And so what we are living today, you could say, is not present tense. What we are living today is past tense, in the aspect that it is the result of thoughts that we have already thought. But it is the thoughts that we think right now that will determine what will happen tomorrow. And so where do we need to be focused? On what's happening right now as a result of what has happened before that? Or do we need to be focused on what to think, what to feel and what state to be in right now, because that's the only time that we have to influence what is coming in the future. We can be controlled by what is going on. Our state can be controlled by what is going on, or we can understand that it is thought that creates everything, and now is the only time we have to think. And so I must choose to not feel disempowered now, but feel empowered and think the thoughts that will bring me the tomorrow that I want, because I am always creating. And so, what do you believe? Do you believe that you have the ability to think and create? Or do you believe that what is going on outside of you is more powerful than what is going on in here, than you being a creator? You know, I just kind of felt like talking about this. I really felt the need to get it off my chest. I know that probably no one will agree with me. I know that I've probably lost most of the viewers by this point in the video, because I know that most people it's so easy to pay attention to what's going on and say, man, forget all of that stuff. What's going on is more important than what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling. But if you understand that, okay, what's going on is important, but it doesn't supersede my ability to create. If you understand that, then this video, this message was absolutely for you, because if you've been feeling the results of what's going on, I want you to think about what I've been sharing with you in this video. And I want you, after you get off of this video, to consider how you feel. Whether you feel pessimistic, whether you feel lackful, whether you feel fearful, or whether you actually, you know what, this is an opportunity for me to elevate in thought and empower myself to create unconditionally, because that is the meaning of life. That is the meaning of life, to understand yourself, to understand who you truly are, which is a creator that has the ability to create unconditionally. Maurice Bay, the Helpful Trucker here. For more helpful CDL tips, go here, or consider subscribing to my YouTube channel right here. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but instead you chose to be here with me, and I really appreciate that.